to, for some many more decades, to the school lunches that you were served when you were in school. I know. I don't know. Some schools have better than others. I don't know what your school was. How many people here had like homemade pasta with fresh basil and tomatoes and garlic on it? How many people here had like little pizzas with like fake cheese on top and some French fries on the side? That sounds more like it, right? Yeah. Well, sloppy joes, yeah. Macaroni and cheese. I actually love the subs when they, excuse me, you can put enough mayonnaise on it to make it taste pretty good. There's not a lot that can go bad with the subs. Scrape off the lettuce if it's gotten old. Well, I was reading a story today, this week, about a young woman, a 9-year-old girl named Martha Payne, in West Scotland. And her dad manages some agricultural places, and her mother's a physician, so maybe she knew a little bit about nutrition or had learned some at home, but she looked at her school lunches, and she decided that they were gross, just as gross as you and I decide, and she decided there wasn't enough of her, a growing girl. So she decided that she wanted to do a little blogging project, and with the guidance of a father who was a good father to her, he said, yeah, let's set up a little writing project. You're 9 years old, you can learn how to write, let's do a blog, and that's what you're interested in, and find something you're upset about, and we'll do a blog on it. So he set up this little blog for her, and what she did is that every day she took a picture of her school lunch. And she put it on the blog with a rating, one rating for how healthy it was, and another rating for how good it tasted, and a couple other details. And that was her blog, her writing project. And Dad's supervision makes sure nothing crazy goes on there, but she was in charge of it. And the first month that she did this, she had 3 hits on her blog. 3 people went to look at her blog. They were probably all her father, right, from different computers. He was just checking. 3 hits on her blog. And then something happened. All of a sudden, somebody discovered it and started passing it around. And then, all of a sudden, in the course of a month, she had 1 million hits. Wow. On her blog about her school lunch. And kids from all over the world started taking pictures of their school lunches and emailing them to her, and she would put them on their blog, and they would discuss what the health rating should be for this meal and how good they thought it would be. She had 9-year-olds from Spain, from the United States, from Japan. Apparently, though, she didn't recognize any of the foods on the Japanese plate. So there was like daikon and sour plum and like fish wrapped in leaves, and she wasn't sure it looked very good. But she said that the kid from Japan said that and she could see that it had vegetables on the plate. So, and then the news media started picking this up. How come 9-year-olds all over the world are complaining that they don't have enough vegetables on their school lunch trays? And so she got featured in Time magazine, she was featured in The Guardian, she was featured in some other press in Great Britain, she's in West Scotland, and she started getting money pouring in, people started paying her for the pictures of the school lunches that she took. You know what this kid did? She found an organization that was working on school lunches in Africa and sent them the first 20 pounds that she got for her first picture, the first time it was in a newspaper. And she continued to encourage people to do that. And this exploded. Apparently it's a huge trending Twitter topic. I haven't looked it up. But those of you who are on Twitter, it's called No Second Serving, because that was the name of her blog, because she wasn't allowed to have seconds in her school lunches. And the school administration, you know how administrations are sometimes, they get all nervous and start thinking they're looking bad. So they told her she wasn't allowed to take pictures in school anymore. Well, you can imagine once you're a trending topic on Twitter and you're like getting the Time magazine and The Guardian to feature you, they're telling you can't take pictures in school. Sometimes authorities try to tamper down things, and you know what, they're just way out of control. So all of a sudden then, they started receiving emails from all over the globe, thousands of emails of outrage that this little Martha Payne, a 9-year-old, wasn't allowed to take pictures in her school, and then her donations to little charity, she picked what's sky high. It's like $75,000 that she's raised for this charity that is giving school lunches to kids in Africa. I forget the place, but they set up an entire another kitchen out of the funding and they're like celebrity chefs in Great Britain that are all focusing on school lunches right now and how to make them healthier and how to get vegetables on the plate. And eventually the school had to be like, well, we're getting emails from all over the world. I guess she's allowed to take pictures. And oh, by the way, we've always had a policy that kids can have an unlimited amount of fruit and vegetables. It was one of those policies that was written down somewhere that nobody knew, the kids didn't know about, and the serving people didn't know about. But all of a sudden, she had revolutionized her school district's lunch program and gotten this conversation going all over the world about school lunches because this 9-year-old decided to take pictures of her school lunch because she didn't like having a piece of pizza and some French fries for lunch. And God said, I'll take a little twig from the top of the highest cedar, and I'll plant it, and that will be my tree. Sometimes the little tiny things turn into huge, amazing, out of control growth. Little Martha Payne's pictures of her school lunch revolutionized the discussion about school lunches in Great Britain and got kids all over the world complaining that there weren't enough vegetables on their plate. So this is the Christianity 101 entry level. Let's make sure we all understand it, meaning of this scripture. That whatever little faith you have, whatever little actions you do are enough because God can grow them. It does not matter how big or how small your faith is. It is a gift from God, and you didn't create it any more than the farmer creates the seed. It is a gift from God. And you're not in control of its growth any more than Martha was in control of what happened in those 3 weeks when her blog went from 3 hits to 1 million. God is the one who gives the growth to all of our little tiny seeds of faith and our little tiny actions. Your faith is enough. You don't need to be mad that it's not bigger. You don't need to try to force it to be something it's not, because it is a gift from God, and God will make it grow. So if that's all you hear today, that's okay. And if that's what you came here for, you got it. Your faith, no matter how small, is enough. But I want to take it one level deeper for the people who want to take it one level deeper. So, if you want to take it one level deeper, tune in. And if you don't, now's the time to daydream, and I'll come back and get you in a second. Let's talk about that parable that Jesus had.